Good morning, everyone. This is Patrice Catan from Catan Fashions. And I have an interesting blog for you today. I'd like to introduce Barbara, who has created a magazine that is very noteworthy and something that should be read by every bride. You know, here at Catan's, we have strived to do what we call a creative boutique. Why a creative boutique? Because I'm the designer, I've designed all the wedding gowns, and now I'm giving you the opportunity to create that little bit of personal touch to your wedding gown. Also, I am making it in your budget. Budget today is very important. I met Barb, she came in to see me. She was starting a book. She's from LA, and she will give you a little bit of background about herself. What has happened here is we've created an association because now we've brought two educators together. One in the fashion industry, two as the editor of a magazine. It's a dynamic book. I want her to tell you about it. Barb, hello. Let's hear a little bit about what you've done here and where you've come from.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Patrice. I'm so sorry, I have laryngitis today, so I'm gonna try and yell it out. I am from Los Angeles, and 23 years ago, when I was about to marry my husband, we couldn't find someone to marry us because we're different religions. So it started to bother me that when I came here to Cleveland, I was meeting people who were being ignored by the wedding industry and maybe not treated as well as they could have been. So I thought that I would start a magazine so that all couples are celebrated when they're getting married.
That's correct, Barb. Now let me ask you a question. When you started this magazine, I'm very surprised as what this magazine turned out to be. And why I say that is it's a compliment, because this magazine is very educational, and this is what we're missing in society. Tell me a little bit of what drove you to do the magazine in this direction.
Well, I think it's really important that brides know what they're getting into. While bridal professionals do this every day, brides usually only do it once. So it's very difficult for them to kind of discern the correct information and figure out what's right for them.
I can understand that, but your insight is surmountable for this industry. It kind of mimics, and I think this is why we clicked, it kind of mimics what I've done. A little bit of my background, Barb. You know me, but you don't know me that well. I had the largest bridal salon in the United States. 4 years ago, I decided to retire and spend time with my family. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't realize it was too radical of a change. This is in my blood. Fashion's in my blood. Retail's in my blood. And just making people happy makes me excited. And of course, designing is my number one passion. So I opened up a 6,300 square foot salon, and what I decided to do was make it a little bit different, just like you. You made your book different on education, and I made my concept different on educated people that worked for me as stylists, that were working with the public with a lot of education in fashion. Why did I do this? Well, online is fine. Online can come and go, it's okay. But you can't get the education online that you can get from people that have longevity in a business.
That's very true.
You have longevity. I'd like you to explain the difference with this book. I saw it for the first time today. I have an ad in it, and they've done a story on me, which I'm very proud of. But what really interests me is the format of this book. 98% of it is education. A bride can turn around and take this book anywhere she wants to go and get most of her answers. How did you figure this concept out?
I guess I just thought about what I would want when I look at a magazine. I think it's really important to look at it from all sides, as some of the articles that we've had in the magazines have been for people on a budget. They've been for people who can spend the most that anyone in the world can spend. We have articles for people of size, of age, of color, of ethnicity, people who are part of the LGBTQ plus communities, because we want everyone to feel comfortable when they get married, and we want them to see themselves on our pages.
Well, it's funny, but you meet people for a certain reason, and you are a great communicator, and what you've done for the fashion industry in the Cleveland area is phenomenal. Why don't you give us a little bit of story about the bridal show that you're doing in October?
Yes, well, our October bridal show will be at Market Square at Crocker Park, Sunday, October 13th from 12 till 4. We have the best designer who will be doing our fashion show, which is you, Patrice Catan.
Thank you very much.
Catan Fashions. And we have the best and brightest and best upcoming vendors. So we have people that have been around forever, and we have people that are just starting out, who are still really just standouts in their field. We're going to you'll be speaking on fashion and what makes a great dress on your body. We're going to have posing seminars and singers, and we're going to be doing a lot of sampling of cake and food, which is amazing, and non-cake desserts, which are huge right now in the industry.
Correct, right. You're right on the mark with everything. And I think the vicinity you picked, which is Crocker Park, is a beautiful tribute to the fashion industry, because everything in Crocker Park has high fashion. Between the restaurants. Now tell us where you can buy this book.
The Northeast Ohio Weddings magazine, and it is in all of the Barnes & Nobles in Northeast Ohio.
Rush to Barnes & Nobles in Northeast Ohio and pick this up before the show. But please, please patronize her show. I think it's going to be fantastic. We are going to be showing over 40 of our wedding gowns on the runway, mother's pieces, bridesmaids, children's. We will be there to educate you. And again, we're there to support Barb in her venture in the Cleveland area. This is very vital for us right now. What's the keynote thing that you want to bring out of this show?
I want brides to feel like they can come to our show and find people that celebrate them and that love them as they are.
You know, you speak my words, because this is about memories. It's not always about selling a product, but it's about creating memories and education, and the rest comes with it. How do you feel about that?
Absolutely. Personally, I think every step along the way, like your actual wedding, that's the biggest day of your life until your children are married or your children are born. But leading up to the wedding, how you're treated, how people react to you, how your relationship with your vendors, you will remember that. You will remember them as this great overall experience or something that was horrible. And I want everyone's experience to be great.
You know, I agree with you. I tell all my clients that come in, there's no pressure here. This is about a memory. If you leave with a memory, whether you purchase a gown or not from me, I have done what I need to do. You know, popularity and business and selling your product comes with respectability. I feel very strongly that meeting Barb Stizer was one of the best things that's happened to me in a long time, because she's authentic. I'm authentic. I say it the way it is. I tell you the truth. If you put on a dress that's $2,000 and the $7.99 dress looks better, I'll say go with the $7.99. This is about respectability. This is what's necessary in the world today. We are running businesses, but respectability is what's worth more than money. And we're here as educators, like you are, Barb, to educate the public. So what's happening is we're going to do a bridal show. That's not your typical vendors, public, see what's out there, see what it's all about. She's bringing you, am I correct to say, the finest of the finest to move
Absolutely.
forward and give you the proper education, whether you go with these people or not. Am I correct?
Absolutely. I think it's important that you are able to trust your vendor, know that they're not going to go out of business overnight. Someone that all of our vendors know what they're doing and they've been around for a long time and they're going to do you right.
And I do believe, after reading this magazine, that she did as much research for her show as you've done in your magazine.
Absolutely.
Your magazine gives you a lot of tips that girls look for hours on internet. It's in one book. This makes you a stress-free wedding. Have things changed? Yes, but tradition never changes. You're just giving it a different twist in 2020. And let me tell you something, Barb. You want to see a lot of weddings? 2020 is going to hit the top
Oh, yes, absolutely.
because of this 2020. So it's very interesting how people are perceiving themselves and want this 2020 look. And I tell the girls, and you're going to tell the girls even at your show, don't wait till the end of time to purchase a gown. And go to somebody that can really work with you, that knows your shape and knows what looks good on you. A dress takes 4 or 5 months to get in, especially if you're making changes. I'm sure everything else in the industry today is booking up rapidly because of such a busy marriage season. Am I correct?
That is correct. The trend right now is to book for 2020. People who thought that they would wait a couple of years are pushing it in. People who thought they'd get married in 2019 are pushing it over to 2020 because, you know, it's going to be a big year. It's exciting.
So we have to consider the fact we have to work at educating the public, which this is why she's so great, because she's educating you through a book, and I'm educating you through 34 years experience in the fashion industry. She's educating you in many, many years in editorials and writing. This makes a perfect marriage for us to both give you the best of the best. You know, we wish you the best.
Thank you.
Please come out and buy your tickets. Please tell them how they can obtain tickets, Barb.
Tickets are on Eventbrite. If you go to our website, northeastohioweddingsmagazine.com, you can, about 5-10 seconds will go by and a pop-up will come up and it will give you a discount to get your tickets. And I'd love for you to go ahead and use it. Come out, meet our vendors, and see the great fashion show that Patrice will be putting on, and it'll be a great time.
Thank you again for coming in my home. We hope we've made this blog very interesting. And guess what? There's going to be more. Thank you. Bye-bye.